Okay, raise your hand if you are feeling victimized by Agile terminology. Yep, me too. It can get confusing. I mean, what's the difference between an initiative and an epic? What the heck is a theme? Why do I need a saga? Don't I have enough sagas in my life already? Now, I don't like to get too bogged down with all the terminology because it is different from job to job. But today I do want to break down initiatives, epics, and stories to get you off to a good start because these are pretty universal in the Agile world. And I want you to leave here today with a solid understanding of each term and how they relate. First of all, you have a product backlog, right? So this is a list of things that you need to improve or fix with your product. The product backlog is usually comprised of a bunch of items called user stories. Now, sometimes these user stories might be something as simple as fix the thing, right? So they may not be fleshed out. Maybe they are fleshed out. But how are these stories organized? Are they organized? Well, they should be. So let's imagine that you're going to build a house. Now, you might think off the bat that your initiative, your main project is build a house. However, that's not all there is to it. Okay. So initiatives represent the overall vision or objective of the project. However, large projects can be incredibly overwhelming. So we need to break everything down to manage it as a single entity. So initiatives help break down these large projects, like build a house, into smaller, more manageable chunks. Now, you want to do this so that there will be a clear focus. Your teams can focus on specific things at one time without being overwhelmed by all of the other stuff that's going to happen in this project scope. Also, these manageable chunks help improve the communication. Your stakeholders can have better discussions and decision making around smaller, more defined components, little bites. Also, if you eat the elephant one bite at a time, you will find that you have increased flexibility. Changes and adjustments can be made to individual epics and stories and initiatives without significantly impacting the entire project. So, our initiatives for building a home, right? So, I need to build a home. That's not the initiative. The initiatives might be um, building my home's foundation, building the framing, building the electrical, doing the plumbing, doing the flooring, etc. Okay. I don't know anything about building a house, but this is the only analogy I could think of today. Um, so by focusing on these specific initiatives like framing, okay, you focus on framing, the team can concentrate on delivering high quality walls without getting bogged down with other aspects like plumbing and electrical, right? So you focus on the one thing and you get it done. So you've got your initiatives. Next in the hierarchy are epics. So epics are going to break down these initiatives even more to help provide more clarity and the ability to manage and organize your project into smaller and more easily developed chunks, right? So it's all this funnel thing, right? You got this funnel thing going on. Epics are clear and concise. You don't want your epics to be ambiguous because that's going to lead to confusion, scope creep, project delays, all the bad things. Epics are user focused. All epics should deliver value to specific user groups, and epics are delivered within a specific time frame. They really should have a defined time frame for completion. Like this epic will take 4 sprints or whatever. Okay. So you need to have that measurable success criteria. And you need to be able to utilize it to define and track progress and evaluate the completion of the epic. So, examples of epics for our framing initiative, right? So, we're building a house, that's the whole thing. But the initiative is framing. So, epics for our framing initiative might be install a sill plate. I actually looked some of this up. A sill plate is what is the thing on the bottom that gets mounted to the concrete foundation. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to install after you lay your foundation. Floor joists, subfloor, suds, exterior walls, roofing. So a good epic title for all of these epics would be build exterior walls north side, right? So I would keep them that detailed and focused. I would break down the wall on the north side, south side, east side, west side, because if you break them down that way, then you can say, okay, we're just working on this wall. We're not looking at these other things right here. So this wall needs to have these things. Okay. So these things that this wall needs to have are your stories. And sometimes you're going to also hear them as user stories. Now, this is what your backlog is usually filled with. The stories are going to make up an epic. So for the build exterior walls north side epic, you might have stories that discuss whether there's a window that needs to be there, or whether there's plumbing that needs to be there, or whether there's placeholders for some fancy water system or some electrical, whatever needs to happen on that north side. Okay. So everything is related inside that epic. So all in all, just keep it simple for you, your team, and your stakeholders, and don't get too terribly bogged down in terminology. I mean, a backlog item is a backlog item, period. The rest of it is just to kind of help you and your stakeholders and your dev team be a bit more organized and work on things in logical chunks. So, how does your team use this terminology, initiative, epic, and story? I would love to hear from you in the comments. I want to get your thoughts. I want to know what you think about the way I describe the terminology. If you have a better analogy metaphor than building a house. But also in the description, check out, there's a link to a free handout that kind of deals with the initiative, epic, and story. And then I also talk about how stories should be written. So if this video has provided you some value, please click on the like button, or even better, subscribe so that you can be notified when I post new helpful content just for you. Thank you so much for watching. Lazy VA out.